What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of NWHL Open Ice. February is almost over, which means a couple of things. One is the playoffs are upon us. We will talk about that in a little bit. But another is that we are almost nearing the end of our open ice season. It is no longer, it's going to be closed ice soon. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, so make sure you tune in for the rest of the month. We're going to be here at least till part of March, bringing you this content. I'm not quite sure what kind of content it is, but this content for the foreseeable future. But thank you all for tuning in. Tonight on the show, we have Kiira Dosdall-Arena. More on that later, but let's do a weekend recap. So this weekend of hockey has secured the playoff bracket. Secured, comes to no surprise who number one is. Boston Pride, number one, crushing it. Number two, the Whitecaps. Number three, the Riveters. Number four, the Buttes. And number five, the Whale. So how did this happen? This weekend happen? Well, the Whitecaps swept the Buttes 6-1 and 9-3 on Sunday. Boston continued their domination. They finished out their regular season by taking down the Whales 3-0 Saturday, and then the Riveters 5-0 on Sunday, finishing the season 23-1. 23-1. History, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we are a part of. That is a part of the things we are doing every day. We're in the 5th year of this season, right? Year number 5, and we're making history. Dempsey's making history. The Pride are making history. The Whale are making history. Everyone's making history. So, it's just very happy to be a part of this season so far. So, it's a wonderful league, and we're going to have a lot of firsts. And our guest tonight is no stranger to first. Kiira Dosdall-Arena is on the show, ladies and gentlemen, and she has been around since the dawn of time. And by the dawn of time, I mean the dawn of the NWHL. So please welcome our guest, Kiira Dosdall-Arena. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I have been around since the dawn of time, it feels like.
Were you laughing at my joke when we switched to you? My funny joke?
Yeah, funny? I have been laughing, actually.
I actually knew that because you didn't mute your mic, so I had to mute it for you.
Oh, shoot.
But welcome to the show. Thank you for having us, coming on, taking time out of your day. We're very happy to have you. So my first question, okay. So for those of you who aren't familiar with your background, I don't know why they wouldn't, but you played 4 years at Colgate University. Okay, so let me just read these stats off because there's a lot of them. You're kind of good at hockey. You amassed 63 points in 134 games. You earned team MVP 3 years in a row, and you were nominated, I didn't ask you how to pronounce this, for the Patty Kazmaier Award, which is given to the top player in D1 hockey. But wait, there's more. You were also the second highest scoring defensewoman of all time. Okay, so these stats are very impressive. But my favorite thing about your career at Colgate is you went to Colgate, your brother went to Colgate, your mother went to Colgate, your dad went to Colgate, your dad played hockey at Colgate. So you went to Colgate. So what would happen if you woke up, a 16-year-old kid, and you're like, nah, you know what? I'm more of a Crest gal. No, thank you.
You missed one stat in there, and that's that my sister-in-law also went to Colgate.
Oh, that wasn't in your Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
So
she was my roommate. So I've actually got, 4 members plus me. So 5 of us. my now husband is the outcast who went to Boston College.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, I was pretty much, anyone who knows Colgate knows there's a ton of pride at that school, especially with the alumni. And I was pretty much bred to go to Colgate. It's really the place I wanted to go from the beginning. So
I don't know if you noticed that I made a pun. Did you get my crest pun? Did everyone else get my crest pun? Because I was really proud of that pun.
It's a really good pun.
Thank you. I needed a little bit of validation, but thank you.
Yeah, we really focus on the stats. I wanted to add in my sister.
We're not yet filmed in front of a live studio audience, so there's no feedback. So, I need you to laugh at my jokes. Otherwise, I have nothing.
Jokes are great.
Nothing. All right. But so after college, you traveled across the pond. You played 4 seasons in the NWHL on the Vienna Sabres. And your stats were pretty similar to college. You scored 119 points in 66 games. You won 4 straight Austrian titles, 3 European League titles. You were named to the EWHL All-Star team 4 years in a row. Has hockey ever been hard for you?
Yep, hockey's always been hard for me, Lindsay. The hardest time, though, was probably when I was a kid, being the only girl on a boys' team for most of my childhood. So it got a little easier after that.
But that was the last time hockey was hard for you, is what you're saying.
Of course not. No, it gets harder as you get older, too.
So, wait, I want to hear more about this, more about your origin story. So, when you were a kid, you were the only girl on an all-boys team?
Yeah, until I was about 13, I think.
When did you start playing?
When I was 5.
Oh, wow. That explains your grace.
A lot of little boys and just me. So
Grace.
This was before bullying was really a thing, too. So it was a treat. Made you tough.
Oh, my gosh. What was that like?
I mean, hockey is just a blast. Once you get on the ice, there's nothing else in the world. It doesn't really matter if you're a boy or a girl, but part of what makes hockey so special is the locker room environment. Yeah. It's part of the reason why I keep playing. It's just, there's no other place like a locker room with your teammates. You're just totally authentically yourself. You bond like no other sport I've ever been a part of. And I've played a lot of sports. And that's what makes it so special. And on a boys team, you're either the only girl in there having to leave to get changed. You miss out on that whole experience that makes it so fun, in a way. And so that part made it a little bit more challenging socially. And it also made it so amazing to switch to a girls team when I was a little bit older, and got to experience the full beauty of hockey, which very much so includes the locker room and the social aspect.
So when you were 5, you weren't having to get changed in a separate locker room.
No, right? I actually, it was
at what age was it? Like, what was that transition like?
I would say probably 5th grade, maybe 4th grade.
Sounds about right. That's when all my male friends.
The awkward years when boys start. I actually really specifically remember this. It was on AIM. And one of my boy teammates was like, "It's kind of weird that you're still in our locker room."
Ooh, was that his away message?
No, it was a personal, direct message to me. And I thought, I hadn't thought about it yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? This is so awkward.
Well, at least it happened on AIM, Those are just very delicate memories.
Really.
You put different dashboard confessional lyrics in your profile after that to like really reflect your mood.
It's a real true story. Yeah, who knows? I must have some sort of song quote.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely some teen. You didn't have teen angst yet, but it was definitely a point in your life.
Yeah, I think that was the start of the angst.
I want to circle back to this male-female hockey thing later, but I want to continue with your hockey story because there's a lot of really interesting stuff about you that we haven't covered yet. So you went from Colgate to Vienna, and you were playing in Austria, and you played in Austria for 4 years, which is, not a small amount of time.
No.
What was it like living and playing over there as compared to here?
It was awesome. So when I was graduating from Colgate, I was kind of trying to navigate the world, 22, what am I going to do next? Had no idea there were opportunities in Europe to play. My coaches actually shared that with me and made the connection. Playing was a bit different. The landscape out there, there's just the population's lower. So
The ice was more hilly. The landscape.
Yes, the landscape of the ice rinks was very different. But yeah, I mean, Austria has 8 million people in the entire country. So you can only imagine how many females play. So the teams were there was a huge disparity between the top players and the bottom players of any given team. Very few teams. So there was quite a bit of travel, which was great for me. We got to go all over the place to play hockey, which is a dream in itself. And living there was the best part of it all. I mean, that was why I chose to go back year after year. I got to live in Austria, learn German. I made a best friend who now plays, Janine Weber. She's back with the Whale this year, but a former original Riveter. I think the first player signed to the NWHL. And played at Providence College. So she and I were roommates. And she's Austrian. So she introduced me to the country, kind of carried me under her wing, even though she's a few years younger, taught me the language, taught me everything. It was really amazing. I got an amazing experience living in Vienna. And I was also teaching at the American school. So got to play hockey at night and on the weekends and work with little kindergartners at the American school in Vienna during the day.
So you speak German? How well?
Would say yes. Well, it's been quite a few years. I was just her maid of honor in her wedding, though, and I had to do my maid of honor speech.
We're gonna need you to prove it. This is not a fluff show. This is real news, and we need you to say the Riveters are gonna win the Isabel Cup in German.
That is so much pressure.
I mean, it's not like 8,000 people are watching you or anything.
Yeah. The Riveters werden sicher gewonnen in 2 Wochen.
Very nice. I mean, I couldn't tell that if that was German or not. So
yeah, I just made up a bunch of sounds. And the grammar was terrible.
Hopefully Janine's not watching. She's just like spamming.
She's gonna be like, I taught you better than
All right. So after the EWHL, you played for 1 season in the CWHL before finding your forever home, the Riveters. And the team back then looked a lot differently than it looks today. There's definitely still some familiar faces like Packer and now Johnston. But how has the team kind of grown and evolved over the past 5 years?
It changes every year. So the first year of the Riveters was one of my favorite years of hockey of my life. We had such an amazing group. And it's changed, sure. Faces come and go and players are there for 1, 2, 3 years. And that's always hard. Every year it's kind of like, oh, but what's it going to be like next year? Because so-and-so's gone and so-and-so's gone. And how are we going to replace that player or that player? But I think the culture of the team for the most part has been pretty consistent. We've always been kind of a gritty, low ego team, I would say. Mm-hmm. Look at the first year. I mean, we had very few big names versus Boston, who was basically the upcoming Olympic team. And that trend has but we've always been competitive. I mean, we had some severe losses that first year, but we've always been a tough team to play against. And just in terms of the culture of the team, I think that has carried over all 5 seasons. And it's always just been, for the most part, a group of players who are on this team and in this league because they feel passionate about what we're doing, about growing women's hockey. They want to do whatever it takes to to grow the game, and a lot of strong personalities. So I think overall it changes, yes, but the foundation of what we built in the first year is still there.
So you talked a lot about the culture of the Riveters and things like that. So I don't know if you know this, but I also play hockey occasionally. And so say I recover from my broken hand and I get signed to the Pride because I'm that good. And I'm going to play the Riveters in my first game. What are the Pride saying about the Riveters right now? Like, what are they saying that your play style is like? What are your guys' strengths? Like, what are the Riveters in terms of like hockey play style?
Yeah, I think the teams know that we can beat anyone on any given day. If we come out hard and we're doing all the right things, we can beat any team in this league. And I mean, there are great teams in this league, but I would think they know that there's a risk anytime they step on the ice against us that we can win.
Mm-hmm.
You can never just walk all over us. I mean, even look at this past weekend, we let up 4 goals in the first period, which was really rough, but we didn't back down for 1 second the remainder of the game. We always fight. We've always got grit. We've always got aggression. We can always score. You basically never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that they would say that we're a tough team to play against. Yeah. And that goes to Pride or anyone else. But for friends of mine who play on other teams now, they don't want to play against us. We're annoying to play against, which is what we try to be.
Like Janine.
Well, Janine's actually not who I was thinking of, although maybe she doesn't want to play us either. But we'll leave these people nameless.
All right. I love this. I don't let my personal preferences, exposed on this show because this is about everyone. This is about the NWHL, but I have a soft spot in my heart for the Riveters. Super soft. So I really respect what you're saying. You guys are unpredictable. Like, you could come out, you could score 3 goals in a couple minutes, and the opponent's still sitting there being like, what? But that almost make it hard to be a Riveters fan, because it's like, we all see, anyone who's seen you skate for 10 seconds knows how talented you are. It's wild to see how talented you are. Watching Packer play she's just a showstopper. And so watching the Riveters play is wild. And when you guys aren't doing very well, it's hard because, everyone's like, you guys could do so, you guys could do so much. I'm trying to keep it PG. So it's sometimes being a Riveters fan and rooting for the Riveters, you can hear it in Anya's voice when she's commentating sometimes on the Riveters game. But I think your guys' team, I mean, I'm really interested to see what you're going to do in the playoffs this season, because I think you're going to pull off some huge upsets, to be honest with you. That's my bet. If I'm a betting woman, that's my bet. Riveters playoffs. Yeah.
I mean, we love our fans. I think we have the best fans out there. They've been loyal. They bring a drum now at our games.
So do the Houston Astros, but
they made these homemade posters that are now hanging in our locker room.
Oh, I love it.
Like, if you could see just the players' reactions when they walk in the room and see these massive, I mean, they're awesome. I wish I had a picture to just show you right now. We love our fans, but I agree. It can be tough when one day, we're going into overtime with Boston, and the next day maybe we're losing and we don't even get a goal.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's exciting too.
It's very exciting.
Especially at this point. I mean, we're going into playoffs. The past history, the season doesn't matter anymore.
Everything's practice till the playoffs.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if I don't wish you good luck before the end of this stream, good luck next weekend. I think you guys are going to crush.
Thank you.
And when you score, I'm going to take credit for it.
So great.
So, cool. Yeah. So, on this show, we've had a couple other defensewomen like Orzakowski who's more of a stay-at-home defender. But when people describe you, you're more of an offense-minded, aggressive defender. So can you talk to me about those play styles? Like, what does that mean? Like, if I'm a stay-at-home defender and there's a puck coming at me, how is my mentality different than someone like you?
Yeah. So I think the role, it definitely depends on your team and maybe even the season too. But yeah, stay-at-home defender would be more not as likely to go for a 50-50 puck. If they lose it, that would cause a turnover and an odd man rush or a 2-on-1 against your D partner. The stay-at-home partner or the stay-at-home defenseman is going to be that one who's taking the 2-on-1s because maybe you missed that 50-50 if you're more offensive. So yeah, stay-at-home D would be more defensive minded. They want to make sure they're protecting their net before they're risking an offensive play.
Yeah.
As an offensive player might be more aggressive on the puck, more closer gap on the offensive, so they can turn over the puck to their offensive easier.
So if I were to be more of an aggressive defender like you, I would just have to have a little bit more trust in my D partner. Because if I go for that 50-50 and I don't get that poke check, then it's a 2-on-1 rush.
Yeah, you would. Well, it depends, I guess. You would definitely need trust in your D partner. Oftentimes coaches will put a more offensive D with a more defensive D to kind of balance it out. But if you have two offensive D, you're just looking out for each other and you're aware of what's going on in the game. Like I would say I play with Colleen Murphy a lot and she's offensive and we just are aware of the game and what's going on so that if she's stepping, I'm back. If I step, she's back. If that makes sense.
How often are you like joining the rush, would you say? How often are you saying, blue line? Nah, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Is that frequent?
For me, it's not that frequent.
Okay.
I might, I've been noticing in this season, there are more and more opportunities to join a rush and kind of meet up with the forwards, in which case you might go all the way into the offensive zone and see what's happening. Typically, I get up there and I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. And I really fast.
I don't belong here.
Yeah. Yeah. But it would also be like, you're more likely to take a shot from the blue line rather than just dump it back in. Even though it's a little risky to take a shot because if you hit the shin pads, which is, if the other team blocks your shot, it happens all the time.
Then your shot's going to break someone's legs because it's so hard.
Or it gives that person a breakaway and then it's humiliating.
Okay.
Tough.
Yeah. But I think more formally, the former is happening with you. With that shot. That good old shot.
Thanks.
How do you, growing up, prescribe to one camp or the other? Is it something about personalities that makes you a stay-at-home defender? Is it play style? Is it coaching style? Like, how did you develop your defensive play style?
I think it depends on coaching. I think most defensemen could play to either role, I would think, depending on their team and who else they have as defensemen. Like, honestly, I was very offensive in college, and it was clear to me that was my position and my role. Whereas, over the years with the Riveters, it might be more defensive because we have other D who are in more offensive roles and they need, a more defensive minded person to balance that out. I would say it's mostly coaching, but also, probably what you have more fun doing and therefore develop more.
Yeah, you like to live on the edge.
When I was younger, I always liked to skate with the puck and and join the offense. I just found it really fun. Whereas, in other seasons, it's also really fun to defend some of the best players in the world and be shoving boards and winning the puck from them. Like, that's a lot of fun too.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Kiira likes to shove people into the boards.
Yeah.
She does. She loves it. All right. So playoff hockey starts next Friday with the play-in game. So the Whale are taking on Buffalo. And for those of you not familiar with the play-in game, it's number 5 versus number 4. And they are fighting for the right to play Boston. And you are familiar with the play-in game. Last year, the Riveters won the play-in game and ended up taking on the Whitecaps. So if I'm the Whale, right, and my season's not been going so well, like I have some really good players on my team. I've got a really good future ahead of me, but my season's not going to be going so well. I'm walking in to the locker room the morning of the play-in game. What are the coaches saying? What are the players saying to each other about what's going to happen that night?
Well, everyone knows it's a totally new season. So what they're thinking, what the coaches are saying, the truth is this is a totally new season and we start today. For the Whale, and especially in this league, with all the new signings and all the transitions of every team, you really don't know what's going to happen. Playing the Whale at the beginning of the season versus the end, it's a totally different team, and they've got momentum and they've been in overtime games with pride. So they've shown that they've got a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. And they're really tough to play against.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Buttes, though. So it's the beginning of this tiny mini season that might only be 3 games for them. So it's kind of, you walk into that rink and you think, I'm going out there with all I've got. I have nothing to lose. This is a new season. I have confidence in my team. And you kind of start fresh. It's as if it's the next season.
The only thing you have to lose is your tibial health from Kiira's shot. Heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. It's exciting. It's exciting that no one is ever out of the playoffs. It's exciting that, you watch some of the Whale and what the Buttes do, and there are just these moments of brilliance that you see, and if they were carried forward, the whole game would be brilliant. If you look at the records for this season, it's definitely not close. But if you look at the play styles and the skill, it's so close. It could be anyone's game. So I am so excited for playoff hockey. Let's go.
And momentum is a huge part of the game too.
Yes.
I don't like being on the other side against the Buttes when they start getting a momentum swing. Because score 3 goals in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's wild. Yeah. So it may not look like it, but I do a little bit of research before these streams, and I just did a good old Google of your name, and one of the first things that comes up is this Newsday article about you, which is a day of the life of an NWHL player, which is super cool. If you guys haven't seen this article, I tweeted it out like an hour ago. Check me out on Twitter @gamerdoc_. Little self plug right there. But also, your wedding website comes up. You got married in November. Congratulations. So November to February, that's like 3 months. So you've got like 9 months until all the little things start irritating you again. So
great.
Go ahead and set that timer right about now. So on your wedding website, it tells your wedding story, and I really think it's beautiful, and I wanted to share it with everyone. So I hired a professional actress to do a dramatic reading, and I just want to apologize to everyone because this actress didn't wear her retainers. So here we go. He jumped out of bed, his heart racing with excitement and nerves. It was game day. The season hadn't gone as expected. He knew there was time to turn it around. He pored through the blogs looking for her name. There it was. We've got to feature Dosdale more on the power play. Absolutely right, gotta tweet that. Pete got dressed, donning his number 26 jersey. Today's the day. The game was hard fought. Rivers 2, Pride 2 at the end of regulation. It goes to overtime. The face-off goes to Dosdale. She skates past 1, past 2, past 3. Just her and the goalie. Top shelf scores! Riveter win! She celebrates by jumping onto the boards, crashing right into Pete. His heart stops, they lock eyes. On the autograph line after the game, Pete's heart was pounding. She saw me. Did she feel what I felt? He reached her in line, staring into her eyes. I'm Pete! I have your jersey! She stares back. Kiira? They were engaged 3 years later. It didn't really happen like that. They met in a bar. Pete showed her around the East Village. Kiira got Pete to move to Brooklyn. So they must be in love. Is that how it happened? Is that what happened in your love life?
You know, Pete had very few jobs in the wedding planning process, and the how we met story was one of them. So I guess in his fantasy memory, that was truth.
It's true in all of our minds now. It's true in, hold on, let me just take it. In 9.6 thousand people's minds, that is how you met.
That's how, yeah, he was just a
fanboy.
He was and continues to be a big fan of the Riveters, and that's the truth. So, he's been at almost as many games as my mom.
Pete's last name is Arena, so true or false, I heard your child's first name will be Ice.
Yeah, true.
Okay, cool. And the second child's name is going to be Gamer Dog.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, we'll see. That's not a no. So you're saying there's a chance.
A chance.
All right. One more question before we turn it over to chat. Chat, if you haven't had a chance to get your questions in, we're going to be opening it up to questions from you all in about a minute and a half. So you can get your questions in chat, or you can do them on Twitter, #NWHL Open Ice. I'm not going to lie to you, you have a better chance of getting them in on Twitter because we've had a lot of questions already on Twitch. So I was watching this Newsday video, and what highlighted your life, it was awesome. One is I recognize those brilliantly painted brick walls from the video. Janine used to live there. Janine.
Yeah.
But also, you made this one quote that really stuck to me, so I'm just gonna do a quick reading, not dramatically.
Please, dramatically.
It's not just girls. Little boys, when they see us, are so excited and want our autographs and have seen us play. It's cool to see we are shaping little girls' mindsets. But it's also 8-year-old boys who are going to grow up thinking there's no difference. I love that. I love that so much. So can you just expound on that a little bit for us? What do you mean by there's no difference?
Yeah, of course. I think we obviously, for obvious reasons, we emphasize the little girls all the time because they're the ones right now who have no game, no athletes to look to all the time in a professional setting. But for me, I think it's so profound to think about the young little kids, the little boys who are exactly at the same age as those little girls coming to our games, who we have the opportunity to influence as well. I think it's amazing for the parents who bring, anytime a parent says, oh, I have to bring my daughters to the game, and I know they have, a 6-year-old son too, I say, why not your son? It's kind of the same conversation. Your son can come enjoy the athletics and female athletes as well, and begin to, teach them that women play sports too. There is a professional setting for women and not only men, so that they're going to school or they're going to their locker rooms where there's a girl and it's not a huge deal. It's not this huge divide between the genders. So that's always most powerful to me. And the kids, the little boys, just this past weekend, little boys were there. Probably our biggest fan was a boy. coming through the autograph line, and he was pumped. So why not harness that and teach the kids that, you know, how they're feeling about this. The excitement they feel is validated and a great thing.
Yeah, and it's because it's not women's athletes. It's not women's hockey. It's hockey.
Yeah, it's just hockey.
It's hockey.
Fun entertainment.
And growing up, I've always been a huge hockey fan before I started playing recently. Growing up, I was a huge hockey fan. I used to watch the Red Wings with my dad. And every game I watched, if the Red Wings scored, I got $1. So, you know, I was watching every single game, trying to get those Laffy Taffies from King Video. So hockey for me, it's always been a family sport. It's always been a part of my life. And it's going to continue to be a family sport. It's going to continue to be a part of the life. There's just other leagues to watch now. You know, there's just other people to watch. So if you are a fan, if you're a Boston fan and you don't like one team and you're watching the Pride all the time, it's a family affair now, and it's not about women's hockey. It's about being a fan of hockey, and watching you all play is amazing. It's amazing. I can't do that. No one in chat can do what you do, right? Like maybe like 2 people can who are on your team, but what you all are doing every day is amazing. And being a fan of hockey is amazing. And you are so exciting to watch as a player. The Riveters are so exciting to watch as a team. And the great thing is that what you're doing is you're breaking down gender barriers without anyone knowing, right? It's like secret. It's like, hey, no one look over here. Yeah. No one look at me breaking down gender barriers. Because the thing about hockey is that you have a mask on, you have pads on. No one knows that you guys are girls, you know, from far away. So you just watch and you see it's amazing, amazing, amazing hockey.
There's no better time than playoff hockey.
Oh my God.
To me, the most fun thing about watching any sport, any gender, I don't care, is playoffs, because you know you're watching those athletes under pressure, performing to the best of their abilities with all they've got. And there's nothing more exciting than that, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, speaking of exciting, we're going to take some questions from chat. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Don't worry, they've been screened by my moderators, so the worst ones are going to come just from me. All right. Michelle J wants to know, where's the coolest place you've traveled for hockey?
Ooh. It has to be Japan. Year 1 with the Riveters.
Oh, yeah.
We got to go, and when I was in Vienna, we got to go all over Europe. So a lot of competition. We went to Belarus, like some really crazy places. But Japan, year 1 with the Riveters, Team Japan hosted us. We got a pretty authentic Japanese experience because we were staying with Team Japan and they were feeding us all these meals with mystery, just like a huge plate of mystery things. I remember, and they were trying to explain what everything was. We were eating like little eggs, little quail eggs, I think it was, and just a bunch of blobs of, so we got a really authentic experience is what I'm trying to say. And we got to play against Team Japan 3 times and travel around Tokyo and Nikko and be a part of the NWHL. It was just, I think that one takes the cake.
I've heard a lot about that trip from Amber Moore. So, you know, everyone has had that. I've heard that was a great trip. Did you or did you not eat food out of a vending machine?
It sounds like I probably did. If that was an option, I think I probably did, and it was probably interesting.
Look, sounds like me. You know, I'm not sure it sounds like me.
If there was food, I probably ate it. My overwhelming memory are those big plates of like, I don't know what he's telling me that is, but let's go for it.
Wait, can we go off script for a second? Because I heard that no one puts food away like Janine Weber. True or false?
True.
True. What is the wildest thing you've seen Janine eat?
She'll eat anything, honestly. I hope she's watching.
I hope she's watching so bad.
She and I, we bond over it. I think if she were in this seat, she would say the same about me.
Yeah, anything.
I just stay under the radar about it.
But who would win an eating contest?
MSG with a huge burger in her face. I don't do that. So
who would win in an eating contest? You or Janine?
Probably Janine.
Okay, all right. As long as you respect her authority, then it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a good competition, but
maybe that'll be on our next open ice. It'll just be you and Janine in an eating contest. No talking, no intro, no extra. Yeah. Just boxes of cereal.
Talk about playoff hockey. I don't know.
They might play it over playoff hockey. Who's to say? Who's to say? It's a battle for the ages. Woo! All right, we digress. All right, Kazo DPT wants to know, what does Kiira do as her side hustle to help support her hockey career?
Side hustle. So I work
professional eating contests.
Yeah, no. I work at LinkedIn. So back in that Newsday video that Lindsay's mentioning, I was at an education tech company. I moved on since then to LinkedIn, where I work for our learning unit, and I work with our customers to implement the product and maintain their relationships. And I adore LinkedIn as a company. Mm-hmm. I love my job. It's super flexible. They're very supportive of hockey. So it's a great place to work.
Wonderful. All right, next question. Ash Muzan from Twitter. Going into this weekend, what do you think the Rivs need to do to come out with a win against the Buttes?
I think more than anything this weekend, we have to get into playoff mode. Standings are set, of course, but I was saying this earlier, momentum is a huge part of the game. So we want to go in with that playoff mindset, giving it all we've got, showing each other and our opponents the team we are, and really making a statement as we head into that next weekend against Minnesota. So I think it's a lot of the mental game is the hardest.
Yeah.
So going in there with a mentality, knowing we're heading into playoffs, knowing we have to set the tone this upcoming weekend.
So last question, what from Laurel DPT, what was you'd mentioned AIM earlier. For those of you born outside of the 80s, it's AOL Instant Messenger. What was your screen name?
It was Kiira 11. 11 was my favorite number.
I'm super underwhelmed right now.
Well, that wasn't my AOL name, if we want to go back farther.
Super underwhelmed.
My AOL name was named after a Third Eye Blind song.
You could have just made something up. Something interesting up.
I didn't know this was coming. No, the truth is, my AOL name was more interesting. It was a Third Eye Blind song, Jumper. I had no idea what that song was about.
Wish you could step back from that ledge, my friend.
And I was 8. So that was the music I was into when I was 8 or 9 years old.
I was into that music too. We're good.
It's good. I'm still into it.
Yeah. Obviously. Pull out an acoustic guitar and I'll show you my love of 90s rock. Classic rock. But before we divulge into a sing-along, we're almost out of time for this show. Kiira, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, picking your brain, hearing that anonymous actress's dramatic reading of your marriage.
For sure.
Yeah,
can't wait to hang on to that.
We paid her really well. Really well.
I will thank Pete for that.
Yeah. Do you have any parting words for chat? Anything you want to say? The world is your oyster. The show is yours.
No, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you tune into our games. I really think they'll be exciting hockey. This was really fun.
I had a blast. I know that chat had a blast. We hit 10,000 viewers for the first time in NWHL Open Ice history. So thank you for being a part of that wonderful moment with us. Kiira, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Have a great evening.
You too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, despite the wonderful Kiira being gone, the show is not over. We have a couple things we need to do. We need to talk about the clip of the week. Okay, first of all, y'all have been slacking on the clip of the week. We got Mike Murph Hockey, putting out consistent clips every week. Every week. I want to highlight you. I want to say your Twitch name. You could make your Twitch name whatever you want. Your Twitch name could be Kiira has the hardest slap shot ever. And I would read it out on Twitch if you had the clip of the week. But I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. So this week's clip of the week comes from Mike Murphy, because he's the one out there clipping. If you don't know how Twitch works, you can clip any single video you want, any clip you want. If you this weekend Kiira makes a hard shot into someone's shin, clip that. I'll put it on the show. I will. I promise. Put it on the show. So this week's clip is just watch it. It's so good. Just watch this clip.
Last year, for example, Dempsey in, pass across, and a shot, and they score. Oh man, what a roof shot by McKenna Brand. She popped the bottle.
Bottled. That's awesome. I love a good bottling. I just love a good bottling. Call me old fashioned. So that was the clip of the week. Make sure you submit your clips by next week to be featured next Monday. The action does not stop this weekend. The standings may have been set already, but as Kiira said, the games still matter. So this week we have our last set of games, and we've got 2 doubleheaders. The Pride are done for the season. The Riveters take on the Buttes. The action starts Saturday night at 6 p.m. and then again Sunday at 4:30 p.m. And the Whale and the Whitecaps face off 7 p.m. Central Standard Time Saturday and 1 p.m. Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our show tonight. Thank you for those familiar names that keep tuning in, like Ash, like Gladys, like Rosalind, like Amadeus, like Jolly Whiskey. Everyone, thank you for tuning in week after week. We will be here every Monday for the foreseeable future. I'll give you like a couple weeks notice before we're done. Tune in next Monday at 7 p.m. for our next show. Well, actually, no. Next Monday we do not have a show. We're going to be doing a special edition. So everyone pay attention. Focus. Look at me in my eyes. Next Monday we do not have a show. You come here Monday at 7 p.m. There will be no one here. We're going to be doing a Thursday night show before the play-in game with some special guests. Get excited. Okay? So that's it. That's it for the show. I promise. No more surprises. Have a happy and have a healthy week. Thank you all so much for being here. We hope you enjoyed the show. By tuning in every week and engaging, you're directly supporting the league. Do you want another easy and free way to show your love? Amazon Prime customers have access to 1 free Twitch subscription a month. First things first, if you haven't already made a Twitch account, click the sign up button, which should be in the top right corner of your screen if you're on a computer. What a great show. Oh, you're finished? Okay. Once you have a Twitch account, head over to twitchprime.com and follow the instructions to link your Amazon account to your Twitch account. Sounds complicated, but it's not. Once you've done that, click the subscribe button right here. And make sure you scroll down to subscribe for free. Done! Now you've accessed exclusive Twitch emotes and some other fun stuff. Pro tip, the subscription doesn't auto-renew, so make sure you do it every month. That's it. Thanks for watching. Go Sports!